I'm presently here at the nation's capital in Nigeria in the office of Honorable Kayode Oladele, and he is the member representing Afon Egbado North Federal Constituency of Ogun State, Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show.
You're most welcome.
Yes. Anti-corruption is very big on your plate.
Yes.
I'm quite sure that you're hoping that the 8th Senate has a lot of maybe legislative agenda to further that course.
Yes, we have. Thank you very much. If you check to this, the mantra of today's administration is change. And when you talk about change, you are talking about the corruption and some other social malice that affected the previous administration in Nigeria. To that extent, fighting corruption is something that is very big on the agenda of the National Assembly today, i.e. the House of Representatives as well as the Senate. At the House of Reps, where I belong, we have the legislative agenda, and what that means is that we also set our own tone as to what is going to be our approach to fighting corruption in Nigeria, because we know, as representatives of people, that some of the problems that we encounter in Nigeria today is corruption that has affected every facet of our economy, the people's psyche, and as well as our international reputation. And to that extent also, it has affected foreign direct investment. Unemployment has come in, and the whole thing has gone all over the place. So as a result of that, when we came in, this administration set the agenda. The Buhari administration set the agenda, and we in the National Assembly key into that agenda. So we have plans to ensure that beyond any other thing, we fight corruption and ensure that not only do we have growth in Nigeria, there is also development.
Okay. Now let's talk about, still definitely on corruption.
Yes.
There is judicial corruption, more frequent now, relating to cases of high-profile politicians, basically. And, you have this piling up of paperwork that continues to go on, and you slow the whole process.
Yes.
And, cases that should have been maybe addressed in 6 months are getting addressed in 4 years or never done. So, what would be your own analysis of his statement?
Well, the president was on all fours. It was very correct in his analysis. I won't say judicial corruption alone per se, being part of the problems that we have, but a lot of the problems we are having has to do with the judiciary, vis-a-vis the criminal justice system as well. Yes, judicial corruption is there. People try to drag cases for years to the extent that at some point evidence will be lost in the process, and that is part of the thing that we experience in Nigeria. All of us know very well that you cannot fight corruption without effective and efficient and speedy judicial system.
Okay, let's digress a bit now from anti-corruption and corruption to unemployment.
Unemployment today is something that we cannot shy away from, and it's part of the manifestos of the APC, my party. And you can't just run away from unemployment in Nigeria. We have a lot of graduates roaming about the streets. We have a lot of people depending on their dependents. And today, it has become so unacceptable, even to the legislative house. It's part of our legislative agenda. Some time ago, I believe about last month, the House declared a state of emergency on unemployment in Nigeria. Wow. Just today, a motion came before the House for discussion and debate, and that was on the basis of interest rates, reducing interest rates chargeable by courts, by banks.
Oh, okay. I think I saw that.
It's on double digits. And the reason why we had to do that, I will let you know. We need to encourage small-scale industry, medium-scale industries to come in. And if we want to do that, we need to also open them, let them have access to the banks, to access loans, to be able to establish companies that would employ some of our youths. And if today we are looking at double-digit interest rates, that will make it uneconomical and unviable for small-scale industries and even large-scale companies to access loans in the bank. So what we did was to pass a resolution for the Committee on Banking and Finance to look into it and see how we can reduce the current interest rate so that people can have access to loans and then be able to
pay.
Yes, if
so
we do that.
We're talking percentage below 10%.
Single digit will be fine. That is below 10%.
Okay.
We are looking at our responsibility as a legislature that beyond the economic indices, we have Section 14 of the Nigerian Constitution, Section 14(2)(b), that says that the welfare and security of the people shall be the primary responsibility of government. So you
want to put that above?
So that should be above.
Foreign investment?
Yes, and that's what we're doing. So it's part of our agenda. We're going to work on that.
You are the chairman, Committee on Financial Crimes, and
yes.
With the current aggressive anti-corruption campaign of the Buhari administration, it's obvious that you have your work cut out. Major focus strategy, in delivering in delivering results.
Yeah, you see, everybody's eyes there. What's going to happen in Nigeria today? Everybody's talking corruption, and as I said earlier, corruption is everywhere, not just in Nigeria. But the difference is the approach that you give to fighting corruption. In the past, there was no political will. And that was the problem. It was not as if our anti-corruption agencies were not working or are not competent to work. They have very good manpower. They have the resources. They have the equipment. But so you can't fight corruption where there is no political will on the part of the executive. And when I say the executive right now, maybe I'm talking about the president. So the last administration, it was lackluster type in terms of fighting corruption. Today, we have a president that has a zero tolerance for corruption. And he has come out to let the whole world know that he's all out to fight corruption. What we are going to do as a committee oversighting the EFCC is to ensure that our oversight responsibility in accordance with the law of Nigeria, sections 88 and 89 of the Constitution that give us the oversight responsibility, that we make sure that the conduct of the EFCC is in tandem with the vision of the president. Let's
talk about corruption now to the general masses. When you look at the mindset, or should I say the thought process of the Nigerian youth now. Talking about the social media, something happens, someone is arrested, it's obvious he stole or she stole, and they're trying to convict the person or, just get the person in to talk. You see so much going on online, and a lot of people are thinking it's a party thing. Oh, it's a PC, it's PDP, it's... is there something maybe that the 8th Senate can do? Probably something that can work like an orientation process of the Nigerian youth towards corruption.
Part of the things that the EFCC is currently doing is to go around the colleges, the NYC orientation camps, to talk to the youths about the ills of corruption, and of course to let them know that the kind of lack of development we're having today is because of corruption. I tell you, you don't have money in this country, but if you get in here and you see the way people flaunt money, you say, oh, Nigeria is very rich. But if you look at it very well, the entire Nigerian budget is not even up to the budget of New York City.
Wow.
So if the money is put at the right place, then of course you are not likely to see money all over the place as you see it. But very few people have cornered the whole thing. In Abuja alone, you have one person, a single individual, having up to 50 houses, while others don't have nothing.
Wow.
So, and if you look at it, it's not because that person has any visible means of income, but because it's very close to power, or maybe it's in power, or maybe somewhere it's able to corner something that is meant for the Commonwealth. So what the EFCC does right now is to move around colleges, even high school, to be able to reorientate the young ones coming up.
Okay, then, so if you were to pass one bill,
yes,
one very, very important bill, and they tell you, President, this is going to go.
Yes.
We're just going to pass it through.
Yes.
What would it be?
I think I would go for the civil forfeiture bill.
Okay, and what is that about?
Today in Nigeria, we have criminal forfeiture bill.
Okay.
Our criminal forfeiture practice. I will tell you how that works. Under a criminal forfeiture practice, an accused person is deemed innocent until his contrary is proved in court and is convicted in court, and then the court orders the forfeiture of his property, and then from there the EFCC.
I'm presently here at the nation's capital in Nigeria in the office of Honorable Kayode Oladele, and he is the member representing Hon Kayode North Federal Constituency of Ogun State, Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show.
You're most welcome.
Yes. Anti-corruption is very big on your plate.
Yes.
I'm quite sure that you're hoping that the 8th Senate has a lot of maybe legislative agenda to further that course.
Yes, we have. Thank you very much. If you check to this, the mantra of today's administration is change. And when you talk about change, you are talking about the corruption and some other social matters.